Hi, everybody, and welcome back to episode 3 of season 1, Peas, Love, and Carrots, Peas in a Podcast, with your hosts, Danielle and...
Oh, no, I'm still not the co-host.
Yeah,
even
you
if
are
I'm
the
here.
Co-host.
No, I'm just here.
With Danielle and Robin. If you don't say your name, I give you a name.
What?
So either you say your name or we're going to call you Robin.
And Ellie.
With Danielle and Ellie. Today we actually have 2 very special guests. We have a reoccurring guest who made a brand new appearance into our world. Say hi, Ellie Sheva. You probably can't hear her, but she's looking at the computer, staring at you. She's not saying hi because although she's a genius, she's only 10 days old, so she doesn't do that quite yet. Maybe by tomorrow, we'll see. And we have a very, very exciting guest who I think is our most anticipated guest yet. We have, dun dun dun,
Dad,
my father, all the way from America, who's
I feel like
here.
we should be in a car, right?
I know.
Maybe we should go down.
We actually considered doing this episode in a car and driving around, but when you drive in Israel, sometimes words come out of your mouth that are not appropriate for a podcast, so we couldn't do this driving around the streets of Yerushalayim.
maybe if I just had a steering wheel.
Right? Then it would all be good. Okay, so we asked you guys to send in questions for Dad, and I have to say, Ellie, I'm really sorry, but actually Dad got more questions than you got.
I'm not surprised.
You got close to 100 questions, Dad.
That's unbelievable. I hope I have 100 answers.
No, 100 different questions.
I hope I have 100 answers.
Well, you're
a lot of repeats, right?
No, there was more than 100, but they were repetitive. There was 100 different questions.
Wow.
I know, really, really crazy. So, one second. Elisheva did decide she wanted to say hi. She's saying hi. Hold on. As you guys know, we do this in my house. It's real life. It is unedited, so those cries will not be edited. They will be there for all of you to hear because the way I see it is if you have to hear it, you have to hear it. No, but just joking. We're gonna nurse now. Those are those unpleasant sounds you hear. Okay, let's jump right in. Dad, are you ready?
I hope so. Ready or not, here I come.
Basically, I take all the questions and I put them into categories. So you had 3 basic categories: real questions, like about real life.
Okay.
About Danielle.
Okay.
And random.
Random. Uh-oh.
The random we save for the end because then no matter what happens, we end on a lighter note.
Okay.
Okay, so we can go with real questions or about Danielle. What do you guys think?
I think... Let's throw them in the deep end. Go with real questions.
Real questions?
I'm game.
Fine. Will you make Aliyah ever?
I hope in the future to be able to spend significantly more time here in Israel, but Aliyah, I don't think so. I've kind of already made Aliyah to Miami.
That's Yerida. That's definitely not Aliyah.
Why? You think there's better food in Miami than New York?
Yeah, but it's south, Ali. That was the joke.
No.
That was no.
No.
No good?
That failed.
That failed. Okay, crash and burn. Fine. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn until I was bar mitzvahed, and then to the holy 5 towns, which back then wasn't so holy.
Okay, so some people actually knew you were from North Woodmere, and their next question was, how has the 5 towns changed?
Oh, boy.
That's the
A lot more Jews showed up, right?
A lot more Jews.
No, not a lot more Jews.
There was always Jews.
Just Jews of a different ilk.
I was going to say Jews of a different color, but really Jews with less color.
Less color. Right.
Jews relegated to only 2 colors.
Right. Central Avenue
2 of which are not even colors, really.
Right, yeah. Central Avenue isn't quite the same place as it was when I grew up, but it's still vibrant, it's still crowded, and Baruch Hashem, everybody seems okay.
Thank God. How did you decide to send Danielle to Hafter?
It was a process.
Really?
Yeah. We weren't sure what to do. You know, your mother and I both Baal Teshuvas.
Right.
And we weren't sure exactly what direction we were heading at that time of life. And Mom went to Hafter to talk to then Rabbi Besser. And he couldn't have been nicer, more accommodating, but serious yet in wanting to know our commitment to Yiddishkeit. And Mom told him where we were at and where we thought we were headed. And he said, if you think this is what you want and where you want to send your child, we're happy to have her.
Wow.
And we owe a great gratitude, tremendous gratitude to both Hafter and Rabbi Besser.
So you have only yourself to blame for the fact that Danielle ended up in Israel. You set her on this path.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
That's on record.
No, but I actually have something to say about that, because I actually think a lot of parents whose kids come to Israel, are always so shocked that they end up in Israel. But really, if you grew up in like the metropolitan New York area, you grew up most likely every year going to the Israeli Day Parade, learning about Yom HaAtzmaut, learning about Israel, traveling to Israel for vacations. And then all of a sudden parents are shocked when their kids pick up and move to Israel. But really, who do you think instilled them with a love for Israel?
Well, when you guys were little, we constantly schlepped you guys to Israel because we wanted you to have a love for the land of Israel.
You just took it too far.
My mother always jokes. She always says, no, I told you, I say it's your fault. She says, no, I told you to want to yearn to live in Israel, not actually.
And I figured the one thing you listened to me on, who knew you picked this?
I thought you were going to say I was such a good listener that I listened to everything.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so our next question is, did you grow up religious? But you basically answered that already. But you grew up traditional.
Traditional. We had a kosher home.
Right. And I mean, Grandpa was from before the war, so you had a little more.
Grandpa grew up in a very frum world,
right, before
the war, but the war kind of changed that.
This is a very interesting question. I'm not sure how you're going to answer it. I feel bad asking you.
Go for it.
Do you want your boys to marry a Moroccan girl?
I'd be happy.
You'd be very happy.
It's worked out pretty well for me.
Okay.
And me.
Very good. Oh, that was nice, Ellie. Okay, your best parenting advice.
Wow, that's a hard question.
I know. I told you some of these were really real questions.
My best parenting advice isn't even so much about how to parent. It's how to experience being a parent.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, when you guys were little, I was very busy.
Right.
And making a living was foremost on my mind. And I was on airplanes probably in your young years every week in, week out. I was flying somewhere, doing business. And I was preoccupied. And there's probably a lot of great, funny, pleasant, interesting experiences that I just didn't get to enjoy or fully experience because I was engaged. And my best advice would be, no matter how busy you are, take a step back, and when your kids do something silly, laugh, enjoy it, because they're not going to be silly forever.
So funny, because that's not my experience of childhood at all. I remember you flying, but I remember you coming back a lot at night. Very few overnight trips. I don't remember overnight trips.
I used to run to California. I used to make a 6 or 7 a.m. flight to L.A., and then work the day and make the red eye home. Right. So I was home before you went to school again.
Right. I remember waking up every morning before you started going to Minyan and seeing you put on your towels and tefillin by the dining room table in our old house every morning. So, I don't even know if I necessarily knew you were traveling all the time. Also because you always picked up your phone. And we called you so many times a day.
Yeah, that cell phone, getting that first cell phone was a blessing and a curse.
You always answered your phone, so we never felt like you weren't there.
Well, it was important to me to be accessible.
Thank God. Okay. How did you meet Mommy?
I met Mom on then we called it a blind date. Today you maybe call it a shidduch.
Well, you didn't look into her and she didn't give you a resume. So.
No.
There was no resume.
A good friend of a friend of Mom, not necessarily Mom's friend, and a girl I knew, said one day, she says, I have a friend who has a friend named Nicole who I thought you'd really like. And I said, give it a shot. What the heck?
And then you went out?
I went out. I knew immediately.
How did you know?
I don't know. I remember after the first date parking my car, walking back to my apartment, and saying, this girl is for me.
Didn't she eat well on the first date?
No. The first date, I only took her out for a drink. And
He wasn't going to spend money on her food yet.
And then in the middle of the date, I liked it so much, I said, how about if we move on to go to dinner? And Mom resisted because she was insulted I didn't offer her to buy dinner right away.
She was sticking it to you.
And then the second date, when I did take her out for dinner, again, I remember parking my car and walking back to my apartment again and saying, I'm going to marry this girl. I just don't quite know when I should break it to her.
Okay, very nice. Do you love Israel?
Of course.
Okay, excellent. What do you do, Dad?
Where and when?
Not the real job. We won't reveal that secret.
Okay.
What do you do when you go to work every day?
What do I do when I go to work every day?
Aside from the mafia. We have a conspiracy theory that if you ask Eric and Benjamin, they might tell you.
No, that's when they were 10 years old, maybe. Because I drove a big black car. That was their concern.
Eric still says it. Eric is convinced.
Okay, let's dispel that now, please.
No mafia talk here.
Yeah, please no.
Also, if you ever say anything, you know what happens to people that talk about people in the mafia. Okay.
What do I do? I'm in the real estate / finance business, and what do I do all day long? I talk to people on the phone.
Very good. Okay. What is the biggest adjustment to marrying somebody from a different culture? Oh, was it a big adjustment?
Oh, tremendous. Well, first of all, my family consisted of my parents, my sister, and I.
Right.
It was a quiet home. No one ever yelled. No one ever raised their voice.
She went like all out going Moroccan.
Manners in my house were tantamount. Everybody spoke in measured language. My parents never got angry. I never heard a bad word in my house.
You grew up in a very, very typical, TV style 50s, 60s home, right?
Absolutely. My late mother, may she rest in peace, was American, born and raised in the Bronx. My father's from Poland, lived through the Holocaust, unfortunately for him. But they meshed very well. And it was it was kind of like a 1960s television house. My father would come home from work. My job was to have his slippers by the front door waiting for him when he walked through the door. As soon as we heard that key in the door, my sister and I had to be at the front door, waiting at the front door for him to give him a kiss hello. He washed up quickly. We had dinner.
How do you think that would go if we tried to institute that here?
They'd probably throw the slippers at your face.
Probably.
We ate. Then we watched television as a family.
Unbelievable.
TV dinners.
And your mother cooked dinner every night.
Every night. And I went home from school for lunch every single day. My mother was home 5 days a week in the house waiting for me and my sister to have lunch.
Unbelievable.
I don't know how she went and where she went and what she did because...
What was the best thing she cooked?
She was a very good cook.
Oh, my mother was a terrific cook.
Well, okay, so actually, we're going to skip a few questions because a lot of people wrote, tell us about your parents, mom and dad, but they wanted to know about your mother and cooking, and because they see that you're a foodie. Where'd you get that from? But
my mother was a terrific cook. She loved to cook. She loved to eat.
She was a foodie before foodies, right?
Yes.
Tell them about, like you told me before, about my grandmother actually passed away when I was 2, so I didn't really get to know her very well. But I know her through my father and my aunt. And also, that's who Leah Bela is named for. She's Lila. And tell them the story about their date nights from the Bronx when they first got married.
When they would take
Yeah.
Well, they weren't kosher at the time.
Okay.
And they would take the subway from the Bronx all the way down to 14th Street in Manhattan to some little Italian place where they would get these big heroes. And that was my mother's favorite thing in the whole world.
How long would that subway take her, basically, that traveling?
It had to be 40 minutes, an hour.
40 minutes
subway.
There and back just for a sandwich.
Just for a sandwich.
It's right, obviously genetic.
Right, you always say it's like, the Moroccan side, but
no, it's both.
Yeah, you definitely get that from your father's side.
I think my love of cooking and my love of eating is clearly a mesh of both my sides.
I remember when my mother was unfortunately very ill, and she didn't have a lot of time to go, and she had no appetite because of all the drugs and the chemo and all the terrible stuff. And I went out and I went to the deli and I got her a hot dog with mustard and sauerkraut, and she hadn't eaten in days and she couldn't eat. and her eyes lit up, and she ate that whole hot dog.
She ate the whole hot dog.
Real mysterious method. She knows.
No,
like,
I
right.
think it's just in your blood, like a love, and she loved Chinese food.
She loved Chinese food and Italian food.
Yeah, so it's in your blood. You can't
Every Sunday night was Chinese food growing up.
wait and tell them about her barbecue skills.
Oh, she was terrific.
What she did after she barbecued every single time.
And which I thought was how you're supposed to be. Once, the barbecue cooled off, a couple hours later, those grates came out of the barbecue. They came into the sink. They soaked. They were scrubbed. And they looked brand new. And then they went back in the grill late at night.
Every single time she
Every
barbecued.
single time.
Unbelievable.
I
I don't think my barbecue's ever been clean.
10 years old,
No,
they
Mayor
look brand
started.
new.
Right.
Dad started teaching
Unbelievable.
Mayor.
Right. But you have
Right.
different cleaning methods.
I'm not quite my mother.
You've developed so actually people want to know your barbecuing came up. Oh, that's in random. We'll get to that later. Okay, tell us about Grandpa.
Grandpa is a product of the Holocaust. He is,
But he's actually not a product of the house.
well, he's a little atypical
Right.
in that it was very important to him to be an American,
Well, to rebuild
to rebuild it.
without the shadow.
Right. I grew up as a little kid. I never heard a word about the Holocaust. We knew he was there, and we knew he lived through it, but he wouldn't talk about it. And I remember one day asking him, "How come he never talks about it?" He said, "Because I grew up and lived through that hell. There's no reason you need to."
Right. He didn't bring it home.
In fact, I remember distinctively, our house was the house where friends and family would come, holidays, whether it be Jewish holidays, Thanksgiving, whatever. And our house was the meeting place because my mother was a good cook and they were happy to host everybody always. And the cousins are there and friends are there and everybody's speaking Yiddish at the table, or starting to speak Yiddish at the table. And my father slammed his fist down on the table and he said, "No Yiddish at this table."
Wow.
He says, "We live in America. They gave us a chance to make a living, educate our children, all with our heads held up high. Show a little hakara satov. We speak English."
He was a very good man, Grandpa. He was really like the definition of somebody who had a set of values and morals and actually did everything he could to live according to his values and morals without ever compromising.
Never.
It made him very rigid.
A little rigid.
But also extremely, extremely upstanding and honest and an exceptional person to look up to. So we're very lucky to have known him. Okay. Next question. I want to raise my child. It's always funny when they write these questions to me. Like, I'm the one that gets them. I want to raise my children to be exactly like Danielle. How do I do that?
Marry my wife.
Okay. Do you cook,
Are you
Dad?
offering her up?
Do I cook?
No.
I can make eggs.
Can you?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
And I have a lot to say about Mom's cooking. Even though
Matzah brai.
Matzah brai I make myself, and it's a
Right.
very
Don't take
distinctive
that away
matzah
from you.
brai.
Right.
My
Fine.
father learned it from his mother, passed it down to us,
Will you
and it is like nobody else's.
Okay, well, we're coming up to Pesach, and you will actually be here for Pesach, please God.
With God's help.
Amir Hashem. Will you show them how to make your matzah bread?
My pleasure.
Okay. But you're going to have to do it with shmura matzah, because...
Well, the real question.
You know what? I'm not sure it works with shmura matzah.
But we don't buy the egg matzah.
I don't know. We'll see.
But we'll work it out. Okay.
Not egg matzah, regular,
Whatever.
machine made.
we don't buy the machine made.
Well, the real
Okay.
question is who's responsible for the wings? Because Mom always claims that it's her sauce.
It is her sauce.
It is
it's
the
the
sauce
cooking
plus the
method,
grilling method.
right?
No, but that's the thing about cooking, is that it's the ingredients plus technique. Like, you can have the best ingredients, but if you burn your meat, Ellie, then the meat doesn't taste good anymore because it's well done.
But I also have to.
Yes.
I also, for the wings, I have to give a shout out to Joel Katz and Prestige Caterers, who lent us Lizzie, this wonderful woman who worked for Joel for many years, who gave me a trick on the barbecue for wings, and it has made.
Well,
all
now
the
we have to
difference.
tell them what it is, because we even though we've stored it a few times, maybe they
we'll
haven't.
get back. We'll get back to it.
We'll story it again on Pesach.
Keep people hanging.
Oh, okay, fine, guys. On Pesach, we're showing you matzah bread and we're showing them chicken wings.
Amen.
Fine, please God. Okay, how do you stay healthy? That's something else you got from Grandpa. Grandpa was a very, very health conscious.
Yes, Grandpa started going to the gym 2-3 times a week in his 40s.
Right, and kept that up.
And he credits that to living to almost 95. I unfortunately...
He also ate extremely healthy.
And he was careful how he ate. He would indulge at times, but...
He loved egg rolls.
Right, but for the most part, he was very regimented.
He's really the definition of everything in moderation.
Yes, which is what he said his mother taught him. The key to life is moderation, whether it be anything, from religion to business to everything.
Right. So that's basically your outlook.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm healthy.
You try the best.
I'm going to try to keep it going as long as I can.
Stick around a little.
Okay. We're moving on to About Danielle. Are you ready for this? Ellie, are you ready for this? Because these questions have to do with you also. Just for the record, it's Ellie's phone that keeps ringing, not mine, just so you know.
I put it on silent.
Robin, you're fired. I'm kidding. He's not fired, guys. He's sticking around. It might be against his will. He might be chained to the table.
By the way, I wasn't sure if it was Howard and Robin or Batman and Robin.
Howard
it's Howard and Robin.
But I don't mind being Batman. His cars are very cool.
Oh, you get to be Batman. You get to be Robin. Thank you.
I need to wear black right now. I just had a baby. No colors for me right now. Okay. Are you ready for this? Are two of you ready for these? Because if it's about Danielle, that means it's about Ellie.
Okay.
Maybe I should review them first.
No. Sorry, guys. Okay. Did you like Ellie right away?
Oh, without question.
You answered that so fast. You could have kept him in suspense for 2 seconds.
He didn't even show up on the first date, right?
Right, you were in Israel.
I was in Israel.
You met Ellie on my third date.
Right.
The Rabbanit for you.
Yeah, that was harder than the meeting Dad, I think.
Yeah, the Rabbanit came and she didn't say a word. She just opened the door. She didn't let Mommy open the door. We're talking about Rabbanit Toledano. She was my mother's
nobody told me who she was.
Closest friend. That's who Maggie's actually named for.
The granddaughter of the Baba Sali.
The granddaughter of the Baba Sali. She's Rabbi David's sister. And she was staying by my house when I went out with Ellie. And she opened the door, but she didn't talk to Ellie. And she didn't let my mother open the door. She just, stared at him for a few seconds.
No, then we spoke. She brought me into the room. She gave me, my first...
Well, she was extremely, extremely wisdomous. So
yes.
Wise is the word.
Wise. Oh.
What's that from? Wisdomous?
Excuse me. Fancy words over
very
here.
Wisdomous. It's from,
very wisdomous.
It's from something.
Okay. From one dad to another. He actually wrote this. This is a question from a dad. How did you know Ellie was right for Danielle? How do I trust my daughters with a man I barely know?
Maybe it's one of my strong points or maybe it's a weak point. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I consider myself a pretty good judge of character. And the way I've run my life is... I get a vibe, it's instinct, and I go with it. I really don't question myself. I don't second guess myself. If I feel something, I go with it. And instantly I felt that Ellie was just a good soul.
And he is, so...
You haven't changed, right? We're still on the same page, right?
And by the way, I was right.
Right. Thank God. This question is funny because of the way it was worded. So I'm just going to ask it exactly how it was worded for the sake of authenticity, although I don't know how you knew. How much trouble was Danielle growing up? No, she didn't say was Danielle trouble. How much trouble?
Danielle was...
compared to Eric and Benjamin, right? I mean, everything's relative, no?
Danielle was an angel. First of all, as a child, she didn't cry.
Fun.
She only cried if, you needed something. We would put you in the car, and the second the engine started, you fell asleep.
Right.
I remember driving
That's what I do for her, Dan.
It still works.
I always fall asleep in the car.
I remember you were a year old or maybe less, and driving to Montreal with Mom and you to visit her siblings, and driving back, and you only woke up to eat or be changed. That was it. 8 hours each way, nothing. When Eric came along, he was a little infant, and he was crying and fetching, so I said, I packed him up, I put him in the car seat, I started the car, I drove around. He kept crying. I said, I think the kid's broken. I didn't know that didn't work for everybody.
Oh, Eric was colicky, right?
Yes, he was colicky.
Yeah.
But I just
He's so
assumed that
colicky.
it worked for one, it would work for all of them.
So I was an angel baby. You sucked, Eric. Sorry. But now
No, he did not.
It's good dad's here to protect.
And Benjamin didn't sleep in the car either so much.
Benjamin didn't sleep in the car, but Benjamin is the baby, so it didn't matter what he did because he's the baby, so he was perfect.
Said the oldest
That's
child.
right. All my children are perfect.
No, you know what it
Sort
is?
of.
It's that my mother and my father are both the youngest in their families. And you are not the oldest. I am the only oldest in this house, and I'm the only one that knows what it feels like to be an oldest child. You are the trial child. And also, you know, your parents are much stricter with the oldest child, and the youngest child is a baby and gets whatever they want. That's just how it is with youngest children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay, so that's how it is. Okay. What is your favorite food that Danielle makes?
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, that's a
Really?
good question.
That's hard. The favorite food? I don't know. Everything you make is really good.
No, you don't like everything I make. I make things with vegetables sometimes.
Well, you can't win all, I guess.
Wait, you don't
Anything that doesn't have peppers.
anything that doesn't have you don't like peppers.
Well, I don't eat peppers.
You don't like green stuff like parsley, cilantro. Like you don't like to see that stuff,
If it's in the food, I'll eat it, but it doesn't do much for me.
right? But you do like strong flavors. You don't
Yes.
love cumin,
No, not loving cumin is a bit of an understatement.
but you like strong flavors.
I like strong
You
flavors.
like spicy food.
You know what? Before I met Mom,
Yeah.
I didn't know what spicy food was. In fact, so much so that because I was at my grandma's house, actually, I discovered these, what are they called?
Pastella.
No, the pastels.
Oh, the pastel, the triangle.
They're like cigars, but they're triangular shaped. And my late mother-in-law, may she rest in peace, was one of the greatest cooks.
I tell them this, but I think they don't believe me. Like, she actually was, her cigars and pastel were unbeatable.
Unbeatable. She made the dough by hand. Nothing was store-bought.
Fingers.
They're light. Unbelievable. And these pastels were the most delicious taste.
The pastel is filled with potato. By the
No,
way.
meat. They were meat pastels.
No, the pastels were always filled with potato.
These were meat.
Really? Oh, they just weren't spicy.
They weren't spicy, and
Right.
they were unbelievable. So I remember going to a party at another Moroccan home, and they had cigars. And I had never tasted a cigar, but I had these pastels.
Right.
And they looked like virtually the same thing in a different shape. I bit into one, spicy as could be, and I thought they're trying to kill the Ashkenaz guy in the room.
Grandma cigars.
Turns out they weren't trying to kill me.
That's just how they like them.
And now I like spicy food.
It just adds so much flavor. I don't know. I don't understand when people don't like spicy.
I grew up with we didn't have spicy food at home.
But your mother did, what did she do once a week on the rotisserie?
Oh, roast beef on the rotisserie is unbelievable.
That was like a once a week dinner.
No, it wasn't once a week.
How often
On
was
a
that?
special Sunday or something.
And then you took leftovers for lunch.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
What was your mother's favorite dish?
My mother's favorite dish?
No, I'm saying that
My favorite dish
Yeah, from
was
your mother.
probably her roast beef on the
Roast beef.
rotisserie.
That's what you talk about the most.
Like
the
if my-
meatloaf we hear about.
Oh,
Yeah, but if
The
it was
veal?
if it was my birthday,
yeah.
What about the veal
I would
chop?
ask her to make me a roast beef on the rotisserie. Or she made veal cutlets with a sunny side up egg on top.
Oh my
See, that's what we
gosh.
talk about. Everything
Oh,
I
and
think is better with
the
an
egg
on
was
top.
runny, and you'd cut into it, and the egg yolk all over the fried veal cutlets. Oh my god,
It's so good.
so good!
Okay, we're gonna have to remake
Getting
that.
back to the healthy question,
Yeah.
I don't eat that anymore.
Right, you don't really eat any red meat now.
No, I eat red meat,
Very limited.
very little, and I don't eat anything fried.
Right. Well, we are getting an air fryer for Pesach.
That's not fried. That's
Right.
whatever.
No, well, because we're going to recreate things.
Okay,
With that.
good.
We can do the veal cutlet with
Can you do schnitzel for me?
in the air fryer.
Which reminds
Yeah, of
me.
course.
Which reminds
Oh,
me.
meaning because you won't eat the veal.
Yes.
I don't know why you won't eat the veal. You like meat. It's meat. It's a cow. It's meat.
It's just a young cow.
No. Doesn't work.
Why?
Do you want to tell them your story about kibbutz Lavi?
That's so embarrassing. Why do you?
Meanwhile, I thought
Why?
about you were having
Tell
dinner.
them.
We were having
Why?
dinner last week
No,
I
in
do.
Tavere on 84th Street.
Oh, I love Tavera. That's where you
couldn't
introduced
eat
me to the
anything.
veal
And I was
cutlet.
thinking
The whole
about it.
thing was
Naturally, I didn't order it, but
Yeah.
I was thinking about you.
That because you introduced me to that veal cutlet at Tavera.
And their food is still that good.
Yeah, Tavere's a restaurant in the city. Go check it out and order the veal scallopini. What's it called?
It's with a salad on top.
It's super, super thin. They pound it like maybe to 1/8 of an inch thick, and then they bread it and they fry it, and it's still on the bone, so it's juicy and delicious, and they top it with like a really acidic salad, and it's just the best thing ever. That's actually where my chicken was based off of, that thing, because Ellie doesn't eat veal, so I always have to like adapt and do a chicken. You could tell them the Kibbutz Levi story.
Well,
I wonder if my
we'll
dad
keep it
knows
short.
this.
By the way, we were at Kibbutz Levi, and we went down to the farm where they keep all the animals, and there were cows around, whatever. And Danielle turned and asked, "Where do they keep the veal?"
No, we saw
Yes.
the veal. We saw the veal.
What did you say?
I said, "Oh, that's the veal."
Oh, that's
for
the
kids.
veal, not the calves. The veal.
Who remembers the names of the baby animals?
Oh my gosh.
Nobody. It's a veal. Why do you call a cow and a veal has a different name? A calf has a different name.
It's not a calf. It's not a calf chop.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a
It's a
veal
veal chop. Why did they have? So somebody somewhere called baby cows veals. How did they get that name?
Until they're on your plate, they're things. They're alive.
What about cows?
Where
Cows
is the veal?
Cows turn into beef, I guess.
Yes.
Right? Nobody says there. Actually, they say there's the beef. They don't say that to
That
cows.
was the question: is where's the beef?
Where's the beef?
Where's the
Right, I guess nobody's telling the cow it's going to be beef.
Right.
That wouldn't be nice. Okay, but what about chicken? Chicken is chicken. You say, where's the chicken?
Yeah, but I don't like to think of that.
They're going to vote on this. Okay, we're going to put this up for you guys. Okay, this is a funny question. Do any of the little peas remind you of Danielle as a child?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't even know what the question means.
Which one, and like
Which
which
of our
one of
children?
our children reminds
Oh,
you
the
the
little
most
peas?
of me?
Yeah, they're the little peas.
Oh, that's easy.
Who?
Leia Bela.
Leia Bela?
Of course.
Really?
You always say Leia Bela reminds you of your mother. Look at it. Oh my God! Look what happened.
Leia Bela reminded us of
Maggie
Mom
reminded
until
me.
Maggie came along.
Right, Maggie
Right.
is my mother. I mean, not even looks-wise, also personality-wise. Neither of them can be quiet. Ever. It's nothing you do will keep them quiet. They just, but literally, like with Maggie, it has to have been that Mom was like this as a child. You do not even, sometimes you have to encourage children like, okay, yeah, I hear. Literally, you could just sit and stare at her and say nothing, and the girl will talk for an hour straight.
Well, you know what? When Mom and I guess we were engaged at the time, and
Yeah.
whenever we would go for a long drive, I discovered the greatest thing to have a mom on a long drive, because I never had to talk. The minute we started going, no matter how many hours the trip was, Mom talked the whole way.
It's hilarious.
And it kept me company. I never turned on the radio.
And that's it. And it's entertaining.
And I was entertained the whole way. And then it became Mom's job. I drive, you talk, and we go.
But what's amazing is they don't need any encouragement. They'll go from topic to topic.
Well, your mother, much like you, Baruch Hashem, has the gift of gab. And both of you can talk to anybody at any time about anything, regardless whether you know them or not. And I love that.
I think Mommy's more skilled, though, than I am in that area.
I'm not quite sure about that.
No? Okay, fine. What was...
By evidence of what we're doing here.
Right, that's true. Okay, fine. What was Danielle like as a little girl? Which I guess you answered.
Danielle was the cutest little girl.
Thank you.
And you know, if we said smile, you smiled.
Yeah, let's ask the Barbies if they think that.
I was obedient. I didn't like Barbies. Not every little girl likes Barbies. That's such a stereotype.
They don't all take their heads
I
off.
hated dolls.
We did not. Mom and I didn't. Mom used to travel to Europe every year to do whatever she did.
Basically, she left for 10 days. She needed a break.
She went to Europe shopping every year.
Good for her.
And she would bring back the most exquisite dolls for you. Because I guess as a little girl, she dreamed of having dolls like
But
that.
every year she bought me the same present. And every year I didn't like it.
But she couldn't get it. Because I guess as a little girl, she dreamed of being able to have these dolls, which she couldn't have. And now that she was able to provide them to you, she couldn't have said you didn't want them.
I didn't like dolls. I don't know. I much preferred you bought me a few Easy Bake Ovens.
Right.
And the Spin Arts. And all those art sets. I just wasn't into dolls and Barbies.
I still remember the name of the doll, the company.
What was the
Carole.
Really?
Yeah, these French dolls.
But basically, we lined them up in my room, and they were always beautiful, and they sat there, and nobody played with them.
And Mom
But
couldn't
they looked
understand
good.
you didn't want to play with them.
Right. Basically, in retribution for my not appreciating the dolls, Hashem gave me 4 girls that only want dolls. so
Go figure.
Yeah, exactly. So mom won, basically. Okay. How did you deal with your clearly favorite child moving to Israel? I'm just saying I did not ask that question. Somebody asked that question. How did you deal with, I'll repeat it. How did you deal with your clearly favorite child
Eric and Benjamin
moving to Israel?
Well, let me answer the question of how I dealt with my only daughter moving to Israel.
Very Mark for president, everybody.
I consoled myself by saying she could have moved to Australia. And that would have really been horrendous. At least she's in
or LA.
At least she's in the homeland.
Okay.
And we did have a little hand in causing this by always taking you to Israel and wanting you to love Israel. I'm still not crazy about the idea because I would like to have you and Ellie and my grandchildren 5-10 minutes away from the house, and I could stop on the way home,
and
butcher the kids a little, have my full 10-15 minutes, and then go home. As opposed to this feast or famine business.
Right. It's hard. Well, okay, so on the last podcast, somebody asked me, do your parents mind that you live in Israel? And I said, yes. I said, they do not like it. And Ellie said, no, they're fine with it. And I was like, no, they're not.
We're resigned to it. It's hard to say we don't like it because
it's Israel.
This is Israel. This is our ultimate home.
Right.
And this is what we have strived for hundreds of generations.
But you're wishing you had another daughter.
No.
I wish she had something.
I'm not quite sure I could handle more than one daughter.
Okay. I'll tell you what.
I'm not sure my daughter could handle me having more than one daughter.
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not. I'm not even shy about that fact. Okay. Do you drive with Dad on Fridays when Danielle's not there on Friday? So do you drive by yourself in your car?
And talk to the car.
And talk to the car.
The difference is, no, I don't talk to the car, and there's no one filming it. Right. But yes, I do drive on Fridays.
Okay, fine.
And I still go to Gourmet Glatt on Friday mornings.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting to that question.
Dad can be seen between the hours of, right? Maybe they want to know.
It's usually around 9.
About 9, yeah.
It's about 9. Okay. What do you wish that they all knew about Danielle that they might not know? I
think you're pretty honest.
Okay.
In your presenting yourself.
He wasn't saying it as like, oh, they don't know and you really are honest. He was saying.
No, I know.
No, I think you're pretty honest and you put it out there. So.
Nothing. Really.
There's not a whole lot that you keep hidden. I mean, you are who you are. Thank God.
Shout out for authenticity. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome.
Okay, we are up to the random questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Did you bring prune danishes with you?
No, prune Danish, good prune Danish isn't that easy to find anymore. And I don't want to slam any particular retailer, but there's one who really dropped the ball.
Because they don't have them ever.
They had them last week.
What?
And I looked at them.
And they were just not.
And I wasn't going to buy
one. No filling.
The dough is kind of subpar. There was no filling or very little filling.
Why can't we get a good prune Danish?
There is a better prune Danish in Long Beach.
Really?
Country Boy Bakery.
We're going to have to go check that out.
I'm giving them a plug.
Really? Okay, we're going to have to go check that out when I'm there. Can you adopt me? I will be the American daughter. Absolutely not. Did you not hear what we just said? No sisters. I'm very sorry. There is only one daughter in his world. That is me. I'm sorry to future daughter-in-laws. You will have to take a back seat in the car. Okay. Will they be allowed in the car? No. No. They'll have to go in a separate car. With Eric and Benjamin.
No. Eric and Benjamin come with us.
Oh, the daughter-in-law. We're just kidding. Eric and Benjamin can go with
God willing, these two boys will find their Beshert as soon as possible. And I will just have to get a bigger car to fit everybody.
What?
There you go.
What?
That's very nice.
No.
I hope to have daughters-in-law.
Eric and Benjamin can drive. They can drive their own wives.
I'm sure they will be wonderful, and I will love them.
What if they talk when we're driving with Dad?
Well, that's between you and them.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Are you worried that you can't take them down? Don't worry about it.
No, I don't want to take them down. I just don't want them in the car. Eric and Benjamin drive.
What makes you think they're going to want to be in the car?
Everybody wants to be in the car.
What? What are you saying? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just kidding. I will love whoever.
What about
my
if it's not a daughter?
sister-in-laws will
Can
be.
random women show up at your house every Friday and do driving with like
Some
take them
people
to
have
Gourmet
asked me
Glot,
that.
right?
I've had that offer.
No, the answer is no. You cannot replace me, people. Okay.
But this whole experience has changed my whole world. Now,
Instagram.
I'm not really big, or at least I've never been big in making small talk with people I don't know. It's not my talent. It's
stop
not
and
my
chat, right?
He
thing.
does not like the stop and
Mom can talk to anybody forever about anything, and it's a
Right.
beautiful thing. I don't really have that innate talent, nor did I ever really have that desire. But now people come up to me whom I don't know, and they make small talk chat because of you and Instagram, but it's because they like you so much that I'm really happy to talk to them.
Right. Okay. So actually, we'll skip to that question. People want to know: do you like when random people say hi to you?
I love it because it's to me it's a compliment to my daughter.
Nothing.
Nachas.
It's nachas.
Oh,
Yeah.
we said that
We
at the
agree
same
on
time.
something.
We
Look at
agree.
that. It happened.
Good job,
Thanks,
Robin.
Dad.
You guys can't see, but he's trying to hold in his laughter. He's pretending not to think that's funny, but it is funny.
Huh.
Okay. What do you look for when buying challahs for Shabbos? Actually, you guys don't know. This is it's. Well, you'll explain to them.
Well, this
What's
past
the
week
process?
I bought challahs from 3 different places.
What?
Only because I didn't have time to go to the 4th place.
Okay, what were the 3 places?
I get from
Gourmet
in
Glad?
Gourmet Glot. I get the Zamex challah that they bake in the store, not the
Okay.
prepackaged one.
That's egg challah.
That's their Hamish challah,
Oh, the Hamish challah.
which they bake in the store. Good challah.
What do you look for in a Hamish challah? Color, texture,
Color. It shouldn't be overcooked. It shouldn't be too dark.
but it shouldn't be light either.
It shouldn't be light either. It should be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
And then I got a breakaway challah and a regular old-fashioned egg challah from, I'm not sure, Alan's Bakery.
Oh,
What does he
Alan
call
the
it?
Baker.
Alan the Baker. Is that what
Yeah.
it's called?
Yeah. In the Gourmet Glot parking
Who
lot.
is also the nicest guy.
Such a nice guy. It's true.
And then I went to 550 on Central Avenue that they do a Friday morning
Yeah.
pop-up kind of thing in their restaurant.
And their takeout food is pretty good, actually.
Their takeout food is pretty good, but they make a pastrami challah
What?
that is unbelievable. The only problem with it is it's a whole meal. I mean,
You don't need to eat.
you don't need to eat. And it's not little bits of pastrami. It's complete slices of pastrami must be rolled into the dough.
Generous.
And the little pastrami sticks out of the top and the edges, and it's burnt on the edge.
Yeah.
And it's lined, and the fat from the pastrami melts into the dough.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Ellie, are you drooling right
Every
now?
time you pick up a piece of it, you got to wash your hands because the oil and the grease comes off it.
That's
It
like
is,
exactly Ellie's kind of food.
and you have to get there before 9 or 9 something in the morning because they sell out quick.
Really?
They started a new thing in the last week or two, challah rolls with pastrami in them.
And they're just
Same
as
thing.
good?
They're just as good, and they're
But
the only issue
you're
is
never going to get these again, Dad.
I know,
They're
it's a
going to be
problem.
sold out.
One caution. I made the mistake the first week, and you don't want to make that mistake again. When you cut the challah, you're turning your challah knife fleishik.
Oh.
So that first week, I used it without thinking. I cut into it, and that knife is now fleishik.
Right.
And I had to mark it so you never make that mistake. And the last week, I took a regular
Knife.
fleishik knife,
And,
and I cut it with that, so there shouldn't be an issue.
well, you already made the holiday fleishiks.
Yeah, but
You just couldn't wrap your head around it.
yeah,
It's too much change for you.
Yeah, in fact, I'm thinking of getting rid of that knife because I know I don't want to make that mistake in the future of using it for the wrong time.
Nobody asked this question, but we'll just put it out there. Where do you think my OCD comes from?
Me,
Obviously.
obviously.
But we're pro OCD. Right? I don't understand how people function without it, Ellie.
Like a thing.
OCD.
when I was a kid, I couldn't step on the crack in the sidewalk.
Obviously, who can step on the cracks? It hurts
Well,
your feet.
I trained myself to do it
No.
because I didn't want that silly nonsense controlling my life, and I had all kinds of other little issues
Right.
that I forced myself to do so as not to let that OCD, run wild, and it doesn't any longer.
Well, this can actually lead into our next question. Who is more similar to you, Mayor or Dovey?
Who's more similar to me, Mayor or Dovey? I don't see myself in either of them.
What? Definitely not Dovey.
No, definitely not Dovey.
Right. We know who the answer is not.
But Mayor, I guess.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Might be Leia Baylor.
It's definitely not Leia Baylor.
She gets a little of the OCD.
She does have, but also Mayor does. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
a bunch of our kids do. Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite place to drive to?
Any place that serves food?
A restaurant. Okay. Who likes driving with dad more, Danielle or mom? It's called driving with dad. If she's in the car, she's not driving with dad. She's driving with husband.
Right. Not quite the same.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any peas, love, and carrots food you won't eat? Yeah. Anything with peppers.
Anything with peppers.
Anything vegetable-y.
Yeah, I mean.
Overly vegetable-y.
Right. That's not my thing.
No. Okay. Also, you don't love salad.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why salad's there other than just to have a first course.
Okay. This is my theory. Tell me if you agree. Pizza is a snack. A slice of pizza. It's not a meal.
It's not one slice is on the go.
It's a snack. You can't have a slice of pizza.
Let's say Shabbos, it's a meal.
But it's a meal.
No, whoa.
Oh, no, Ellie. You should not have opened this.
Oh, I'm not sure anybody listening to this has ever experienced Motzi Shabbos with Ellie.
How many items do you think Ellie orders on a Motzei Shabbos?
I'm almost speechless. I will get to the pizza shop, and usually sometimes the order has been called in,
right?
And I only say, Baruch Hashem, I have enough money on me to pay for this.
Okay, but what about when Ellie asks you to stop at multiple pizza places?
Oh, at one time my head was like close to exploding. But now,
just for the broccoli calzone, it was very good. That was from Jerusalem, right?
Oh my god!
And now I've either learned to say "not happening,"
right,
or I do it and it's okay because I love Ellie, and if I can make Ellie happy, that's okay. That's
appreciated.
What was it like the first time you took Ellie out to a meal?
Oh my god!
Most people order one thing from a menu, maybe two things. Ellie orders 8 things.
I eat appetizers.
Right,
I like appetizers.
He likes appetizers.
No, well, that's a good. I like to eat
but
a
it's
little
unfair
of a lot
because,
and a lot of a little.
Right,
that's
but you
my
take
answer.
one bite of everything, and I eat everything else.
So it's a win-win.
Well, my first few experiences in a restaurant with Ellie were a little unconventional.
Right.
You look at the menu, you decide maybe you'll have an appetizer, which main course,
right,
and then Ellie ordered. And he's going down the list. And I think he's just pronouncing the words, not really ordering everything on the menu.
I like to order for the table.
And I remember looking at Mom. I said, what the heck is he doing?
But we love Ellie for it, and we're all fatter.
Well, I've given Ellie alternatives now.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, now I get limits.
Right, sometimes we bargain.
If you want to go to, I don't want to mention the name of the
Right.
restaurant. If you want to go to X restaurant, you're getting 1 appetizer, 1 main course.
Well, we negotiated.
So we got to 2 appetizers and a main course.
And if you want to go to this restaurant, which is less pricey, order whatever you want.
Right. Oh, gosh, Ellie. Baruch Hashem. Okay. When will you let Danielle announce your Instagram name?
First, I would have to have one, and it isn't happening.
Well, they know you have one. You follow me.
Oh, I follow. Oh,
right.
You mean by me following you, that means I have an Instagram account?
Yes.
Oh, no, but I have one follower.
They want to know what it is.
Oh,
I'm your follower. She took my phone one day.
Do you want to announce your Instagram name?
No.
When will both of you announce
can I
your
see how many
Instagram?
followers I have now?
You can.
Let me get to Instagram. Wait, this is exciting.
Do you want me to announce your name? Then we'll see how many you'll get.
I'm not sure about that.
No.
Now, how do I find out?
Okay, look,
You don't have
press the button that's the person. So that's you. That's your profile.
I have 5 followers. Wait.
No, 1 second. Yeah,
I'm
you have 5
definitely one of them.
followers.
Danielle definitely
Wait,
stole
if
my
I
phone
have
one
5
day.
followers, how do I have 9 following me?
That means you're following 9 people.
Oh.
So, Dad, you're following some people that aren't following you back.
Thank God.
Right. No complaint.
Let's see who's following you. Me, Ellie, Benjamin, Mom, and Eric. Oh, well, it makes sense. You have 5
That's
followers. Okay, that's pretty good.
But even if somebody should find me and want to follow me, I don't post anything. It's not going to happen.
Don't follow him, please. One day I'm going to announce Ellie's Instagram name. One day, Ellie.
I've never posted anything either. That's a waste. What are they?
Fine. Okay. How did you agree to schlep 13 suitcases?
I didn't.
He still hasn't.
Mom did.
Fine.
And as a dutiful father and husband, you kind of do what you got to do.
Fine. Good.
Although the woman at El Al asked me if we were making Aliyah. And I said no. She said, yeah, most people making Aliyah don't have this much.
Well, you're the best, so thank you. What is your favorite dish at Chosen?
Lately,
Yeah.
Szechuan chicken with string beans cooked very, very soft.
Very, very soft.
Overcooked string beans.
No other veggies.
No.
No. It's actually a delicious dish. You guys should try it. It has become my favorite dish as well. Okay. Hamantaschen flavor. What's your favorite?
Is it even a question?
Prune.
Prune.
Obviously. Okay. How do you feel about poppy?
Mun.
Yeah.
We used to call it. It's all right.
I love it.
I can eat it.
I love it. You don't like it?
No.
It's delicious.
I only like raspberry.
You know, in
Strawberry.
So Ashkenaz.
in Miami, in the bakery,
Yeah.
the rolling pin,
Yeah.
they make that mun cake.
I love it.
It's fine. And this way I buy it. Mom doesn't want to eat the cake. And if I buy that, she absolutely won't eat it. So it works for everybody.
So prune is the number one, though.
Yes.
We also like prune juice.
I do. I don't drink it very often because...
Do you know what's interesting? I don't like plums, but I love prunes. Okay? Prunes are dry, because prunes are dried plums.
Prunes are dried. I like plums.
But I don't like plums.
I like plums, but I don't like prunes.
I love grapes, but I do... Actually, I hate raisins. I really, really don't
You
like
see,
raisins.
I like raisins out of a box to eat them, but
Yeah,
not,
see, I like them out of a box.
but not
Tell people
cooked,
that,
but not
Dad.
cooked in food.
I agree. I
I-
like them out of a box.
I like raisin caul. I like raisin caul also.
I do.
No,
Yum.
no, no,
All right,
With honey.
no.
with honey.
See?
Raisins are the worst thing to happen to the world. They mamish ruin children. No.
Ruin children. The
When you are-
downfall of society.
Yes, when you are... Okay, do you not remember...
But you like
little-
Raisin Bran.
In Youngazovemere?
Wait, you like raisin bran, no?
That's true. That is the only acceptable
Ah.
form of raisin. But they're literally covered in sugar and crunchy.
Okay,
Like,
I'm
I
just
don't know
saying,
what... They're
there is a
probably not
form
even
of
raisins.
raisin,
They're
you
probably not even raisins. Also, okay, wait. I'll just tell you. When you were a little girl in Youngazovemere, well, you were probably a little boy and not in
Yes, I was not a little
Youngazovemere,
girl
and
in
you ate a
Youngazovemere.
piece of noodle pudding, and all of a sudden, there was a yellow raisin in your mouth?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, I don't
I
like
do.
that.
That is the worst
Yeah.
experience.
Right,
Why
and
do
sweet
caterers
noodle
put that in? It's so
Yeah,
bad.
I don't get that.
Also, what if you're eating a cookie and you think it's a chocolate chip cookie and then it's a raisin?
Oh, I'm good with that.
What? Oh my
No.
Oatmeal raisin cookies?
No raisins in oatmeal. That ruins it.
Chocolate
Everybody
chips.
thinks that oatmeal cookies need
First
something.
of all, I would prefer a soft oatmeal cookie with nothing in it.
We're getting a good oatmeal cookie this Shabbos.
Oh yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
It's Ellie's favorite.
Yeah.
She's
All right.
making it just for Ellie.
Just for me.
It's true.
I'll share them with you.
It's true.
That's gonna make an extra one.
I did
Oh,
think
she
of a
knows.
better
Don't worry.
name for raisins, though.
Yeah.
I think that they should be called shriveled wine.
Shriveled wine.
Or should have been wine.
Well, you know what?
Should have
That
been
brings
wine.
up the
Should have been
question:
wine.
what wine should you make kiddush on Shabbos?
What is the answer?
My answer is the old-fashioned sweet, Concord
And
wine.
then tell them what you do with it.
And then I dip my challah in it during the meal, and that's a treat.
We could go back to that other answer. You're like Dovey. Dovey now dips his challah in his
In his wine.
because of you.
You see?
He likes
and
Look where you
my whole-
started.
our whole family has no use for this sweet wine, but that's how I grew up at Friday
Right.
nights.
Dovey's been dipping his grape juice, right?
Right.
His challah into
And
grape.
people make faces at the table, guests and otherwise, and I say, tough luck. My house, my table, my
Well,
rules.
When we were little, we used to also dip our challah in the
Right.
wine because we liked it. I like the Concord sweet wine. I do not like grape juice though. So
My father mixes it with Coke, right?
yeah,
Grape juice and Coke?
no,
No,
Concord wine and Coke.
wine and Diet Coke.
It's like syrup. It
Yeah.
gives it a grape
I guess
flavor.
it's like a cherry, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, like a cherry Coke.
Okay, what is your favorite dairy dessert? I'm really hoping you're going to say what I think you're going to say, but
Besides ice cream?
no, like an actual dessert, a dairy dessert.
Chocolate pudding.
Really?
With,
Right. Okay, fine.
with,
mighty fine chocolate pudding with the skin.
can I give a shout out to Hindi
Yeah,
Maisel?
please do.
Hindi Maisel, who is a lovely person, and Hindi, thank you, makes chocolate pudding with the skin on top.
Yep.
And I pour a little milk over it and mix it. Oh my God, that takes
Did
me to being a little kid when my mother.
Wait
used
a
to make it.
second. Did I tell you that when I made the chocolate pudding, a few people wrote to me that they pour milk on their chocolate pudding also? Right? I screenshot
That's how my
it
mother.
and sent
That's how my mother
sent
did it for me.
Yep. It's so funny. I thought you were going to say cannoli. because that's my favorite dairy dessert.
No, that's not that's your mother's favorite, maybe.
Cannolis. No, that's not mommy's favorite is a Napoleon.
Oh, that Napoleon cake?
Yeah.
From that bakery in wherever.
In West Hempstead.
Oh, next to West Hempstead.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That one's really good. I love a good cannoli, though. Okay. How do you look 30 when you have grandchildren? What are your beauty secrets? I'm not kidding.
Your beauty secrets.
Yes.
If I look 30, you need an appointment at the eye doctor.
No, but really, you have very good genes, Leonhard. Grandpa didn't have any wrinkles.
You know what? My father was terrific. His skin was soft and smooth.
He didn't have any wrinkles.
Until he was almost 95 years old.
And also, you didn't turn gray until very, very late.
I turned gray relatively late. I don't know.
Oh, look who woke back up. That's actually really good timing because we're about done. That was our last question.
That's it?
Yes.
That's it?
It was easy, right?
My fame has fleeted and that's it? I'm done?
Yes, that was... Oh, she's stretching. She woke back up to say goodbye. That's really cute. Okay, Dad, this was so great having you here. This was like a driving with Dad on steroids.
Thank you. Thank you. And look forward to seeing us this Friday in Yerushalayim.
I'm not allowed in the car,
shopping
right?
for challah.
Shopping for challah this Friday. Please, God. No, you're allowed in the car. Well, in Israel, you're allowed because you have to drive.
Because I have to drive. That's good. We have to put out a computer in order for me to join you two.
Oh, no. Ellie's feeling sad. We love you, Ellie.
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
We're all good.
Okay. Everybody, thank you so much, Dad. Thank you for being here. This was the funnest ever. I loved having you here. Ellie, thank you for being the best co-host. You are the co-host. That's it.
Like
We're 3 episodes in.
And can I offer
I
thank
did
you?
demand.
I want to thank everybody who loves Danielle because the warmth it provides me and the nachas I get from seeing Danielle loved, happy. There's nothing better for a parent.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're all very lucky to be here and to have all of you who actually listen to us. So thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing, amazing week filled with love and happiness and laughter and surrounded by people that you like. We love you and we'll see you next time on Peas in a Podcast. Bye.